Hello and welcome, friend.
Needless to say, you're not supposed to be viewing these files.
I say, take a chance.
You've come this far.
Some of the following information is true. Some of it's false, even ridiculous.
Sometimes I know for sure, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll lie.
It doesn't matter. Whatever I've told you here, someone somewhere believes it. And belief has power.
Realize also that the O5 Council might not even exist. The Black Queen.
O5 Command Dossier. Overview. The O5 Council. O5 Command. The Overseers. Overwatch. These are the people who have ultimate control over the Foundation. Each O5 member knows almost everything there is to know about the Foundation and its activities. Between them all, they know every single secret that the Foundation holds. Most Foundation personnel spend their entire careers without seeing them. Members below clearance level 2 don't even know they exist. Most people outside the Foundation have never heard of them, or don't think they are real. Most everyone is afraid of them. An O5 walks into a room, and everyone pisses their pants. That's what happens when you hold supreme power over one of the scariest organizations in world history. My research has been comprehensive, but the very nature of my enemy makes it impossible to know which answer, if any, is true. There seem to be 13 members of the O5 Council, although even that is questionable. Perhaps there are multiple individuals sharing each O5 number. Perhaps dozens. Perhaps none of these are true. The end of this dossier presents well-sourced reports that question the veracity of almost every single assumption made here. You must judge carefully. A note on O5-1. Whatever the reason, O5-1 is often reported to be the most powerful O5 Council member. If reports suggest that there even is a most powerful O5 Council member, given the amount of disinformation spread about the O5 Council, make of this what you will. A note on O5-2. O5-2 is usually reported to possess certain unique anomalous traits. As you will see from the following reports, there is an odd sort of consistency in between the vast contradiction. Consistency is unusual for O5 member reports. Possible sign of a disinformation campaign, or a very strange truth. Perhaps I know which, but I could not tell you. O5 Staff. O5 Command possesses their own mobile task force, NTFR-401, the Red Right Hand. They alternately act as the Foundation researcher's best friend and an outright medieval inquisition, complete with disappearing people who the O5s disfavor. Besides NTFR-401, each O5 has their own personal staff and security. Usually O5 personal staff have level 5 formal access to Foundation archives, though they still need to be added to special access programs, and do not have the blanket access that O5s do. Some of the O5's personal staff and secretaries are among the most powerful people in the Foundation. O5 Council members sometimes fixate on certain Foundation researchers. Many of the most well-known Foundation doctors and agents have been under the eye of one or more O5 members, willingly or not. This does not always end well for those favored in this way. Factotum. According to some reports, the personal staff of the O5 Council are known as the Factotum. These Foundation operatives are selected for absolute loyalty and act as personal assistants, bodyguards and decoys. Many encounters with an O5 are actually mediated by a Factotum dressed and disguised to perfectly resemble their assigned council member. Reports ascribe some of these staff certain anomalous abilities, and the O5 Command reportedly approves this anomalous alteration to allow them to act as better decoys or bodyguards, directly circumventing official Foundation procedure. This makes it almost impossible to tell a decoy apart from the real thing. Of course, if they want to mislead, there's no reason to make this a perfect resemblance. For all we know, every one of the O5s described in this dossier are mere decoys, and the real O5 Council remains unknown. Delegation. Although O5 Command holds tightly to its power over the Foundation, they do delegate many tasks. The exact command structure of the Foundation is unclear, but references have been made to the body known variously as the Site Directors Council, the Site Directors Executive Committee of the Whole, or the O4 Council, not to be confused with the O4 Command in charge of lockdown procedures. This organization is assembled for matters requiring a broader perspective, or considered too minor for the O5 Council, yet too significant or far-reaching for any individual to decide. Under certain circumstances, This body may even have the power to depose and appoint O5 Council members, and it seems designed to ensure that the Foundation can continue functioning in the event that anything happens to the O5 Council. Regional branches of the SCP Foundation have their own equivalent bodies with full clearance for all anomalies under their regional jurisdiction, acting as an O5 equivalent for most intents and purposes, although still subordinate to the O5 Council. This includes the German Directors Council, known as the O4 Council, the Superintendents of the Italian branch, the S5, and the Lusophone Board of Directors, the CL5. Further intel. Further intelligence on O5 Command. Appointing new O5s is rare to the point of being legendary, at least publicly. Rumors persist potentially true that some or all of the O5 Council members are inhuman or possess supernatural powers. Rumors also persist that they are unkillable, but this is at least partially untrue, given that several are known to be deceased. As far as I can tell, and I may be wrong, all O5 Council members are human in origin, even if altered after the fact. A minority of the O5 Council may have anomalous abilities or traits, if reports are to be believed, in particular reports on O5-1 and O5-2. But none of the O5 Council are reality benders, and most of them are simply human, but humans with access to the water of life, and power beyond imagining. Far too much power. The O5s rarely intervene in the day-to-day processes of the Foundation, or the containment of SCP objects. They tend to keep an eye on Keter-class objects, and practically micromanage Thormials and Apollons. But sometimes, rarely, they'll jump into an apparently random Euclid or safe class object documentation, and make some summary judgment with or without explanation. After all, no explanation is required of them. O5 Council members are officially barred from coming into contact with any anomalous entities. This is, naturally, not strictly true in practice. At minimum, all O5 Council members of sufficient tenure have access to SCP-06, a fountain of youth, and likely to other means of prolonging their lifespan as well. And that aside, O5s tend to be able to bend rules, even their own rules. Some reports suggest that O5s regularly switch numbers with each other, either at HOC or on a standardized basis. They make common use of body doubles and other security and disinformation techniques. The meeting place of the O5 Council is frequently referred to as Protected Site 001, and one or more O5 Council members may reside there most or all of the time. Alternative reports have described this headquarters as Building Tier 1 or O5 Command instead. Some reports claim that at least one O5 is in space at all times. One particularly interesting report indicates that O5 Command members all wear an article of clothing and/or fetish object as a symbol of their office, with this totem being passed on to their successors. Possibly fashioned from the corpse of the most powerful reality bender to ever live, each object can completely stabilize reality around an O5 member. Unclear how long this lasts, or if it is a permanent low-level effect. Also said to grant additional abilities. Precisely what these are remains unclear, as does the truth of this report. Another set of reports claim that a number of humanoid SCPs are family members of O5 Council members. It is possible that fictional anomalous documentation was drawn up for them to justify keeping them under the best protection possible. There are also claims that some O5s have gone as far as to actually anomalously alter their family members to permanently justify Foundation protection via containment. The O5 Council appears to choose their own members should a seat become vacant, although under certain circumstances they may become accountable to the senior staff of the Foundation. The exact relationship between O5 Command and the Foundation's Ethics Committee is unclear. I used to think that the committee either didn't exist or just rubber-stamped the Council's decisions, but some reports suggest that the Ethics Committee has the power to overrule or even depose the Council. Who's really in charge here? There are a few reports of an unofficial O50, a former associate of the original O5 Council members who left the Foundation due to ideological differences. Much like the official members of the Overwatch Council, I've encountered multiple contradictory descriptions of this O50 that seems to be a trend. They certainly sound like they'd be an interesting person to meet, if I ever get the opportunity. One source bears notable mention. The reports, sources, and personas collectively referred to as the Swallowed Tail. Please be warned before looking into this report. We acquired access to this documentation through the heart of the Chaos Insurgency, and they seem to have gotten most of their intel from a journal written by a global occult coalition agent that later defected to the Foundation. If you're unfamiliar with the risks of insurgency dealings, avoid looking at this if you value your own life. We initially thought this report to be Foundation disinformation, perhaps even targeted at me or us, the creator or creators of this dossier. But when we became aware of greater context, we realized we could draw zero conclusions. Is there a multiversal thread issue here that we're not aware of? A disconnection followed by an unknown bridge, an undescribed resonance, something so obvious, too close to ourselves that we cannot see it, something outside and dangerous. We really have to look into this. If you don't know what you're doing, remember this. There are many worlds, and there are as many ends of the world. Some things you're better off not knowing. The number of these things may or may not be zero. Help or don't. Dissent. Some well-sourced reports suggest a specific membership or structure for the O5 Council that is not indicated in the previous reports in this dossier. These reports follow. Some well-sourced reports suggest that most information in this dossier is an elaborate facade, and that the nature of the O5 Council is significantly different than what we think. For example, reports that O5 members are extraterrestrials, angels or demons from Abrahamic mythology, or simply do not exist at all. These reports follow as well. Usurpation. The conflicting descriptions of the O5 Council strongly suggest that the Council's membership has changed before, perhaps many times. Claims that the entire O5 Council has been overthrown and replaced at various points are harder to verify since no two stories are the same. Some claim that the coup came from within the Council, consolidating all power under a single seat, while others claim that the O5 Council was deemed corrupt or obsolete and so were deposed or replaced by their subordinates within the Foundation, or even by external enemies. If any of these reports have any basis in reality, it is likely that some or of the information in this dossier is outdated. Individuality. According to some of our sources, the O5 Council was long ago overthrown. After the Chaos Insurgency defection catastrophe, the SCP Foundation was severely lacking in top-level administrators. Desperate, the O5 Council used anomalous genetic engineering and other tools to create personnel capable of filling key directorships and executive roles. This proved to be a mistake. Once in power, these entities conspired to take control of the Foundation. Using their combined influence, they were able to secretly remove the Council and replace it with themselves. Mismanagement due to this instability may cause the Foundation to make mistakes. Containment. If the purpose of the Foundation is to contain the anomalous, the alleged abnormality of the O5 Council may seem like a betrayal of their original mission. But what if the Foundation exists to contain its overseers? What if all the security and all the mystery exists not to protect the Council, but to hide them from the world? Perhaps it's been this way the entire time. Puppet Masters. Although the O5S and the Administrator are generally regarded as being committed to the SCP Foundation's stated goal of preserving normalcy, multiple reports allege that the O5 Council is secretly responsible for creating anomalies. Additionally, there are descriptions of the Administrator playing a role in creating anomalies and founding, running and collaborating with multiple groups of interest, despite these organizations generally being seen as adversaries and competitors to the Foundation. It is unclear whether the rest of the O5 Council is aware of this. The O5 Council, also known as O5 Command, the Overseers or Overwatch, is the ruling body of the SCP Foundation, consisting of 13 individuals. They are widely regarded, and rightfully so, as among the most powerful, if not the most powerful, and influential individuals on the planet to the point where they could outright alter history itself if they so wished. They keep watch over everything and everyone that has a certain experience and history dealing with anomalous entities and objects. Being the overseers of the Foundation, they have unlimited access to all information about anomalies and Foundation operations. Due to their nature, they can be either allies or antagonists. Although they have very questionable morals to the point of outright malevolence, they are mostly regarded as overarching antagonists. Overview. As stated before, the O5 Council are the ruling body of the Foundation. They are the people who have ultimate control over the Foundation and all its operations. They are so secretive and unknown that many people, even ones with a high seat in society, dismiss them as a myth, much like the Illuminati. The members of the O5 are also unknown, as they could be practically anyone, especially those with a high position of power in the world. Each O5 member knows almost everything there is to know about the Foundation and its activities. Between them all, they know every single secret that the Foundation holds. Stanford Pines say that no single paranormal investigator or researcher has even a fraction of the knowledge concerning the extraterrestrial or supernatural that the O5 have. Rick Sanchez calls them the lions above the big dogs, whilst even Cecil Palmer states that no human should hold as much power as they do. Most Foundation personnel spend their entire careers without seeing them. Members below clearance level 2 do not even know they exist. Most people outside the Foundation have never heard of them, and even dismiss them as being not real at all, mostly as a way to keep people in line out of fear. Even if they are real, Foundation personnel do not even believe that they are human. The only people that have outright physically interacted with the O5 are the 10th and 11th Doctor and the Lutis twins. Appearance. Probably one of the more well-known things about the O5 is their unknown appearance. Due to the fact that it is an extreme rarity to even spot them for a second, no one in or outside the Foundation have any faint idea of what the O5 look like. Members: O51, the founder; O52, the gardener; O53, the kid; O54, the ambassador; O55, Blackbird; O56, the American; O57, green; O58, the lesser; O59, the outsider; O510, the archivist; O511, the mailman; O512, the accountant; O513, the tiebreaker, the administrator.
Remember, security is the first step towards a safe work environment. Stay secure, stay vigilant,